Hey everyone, welcome to our next campaign. This campaign we're going to play as the Dwarfs. So the story of the Dwarfs is that long ago the Dwarfs prospered and they owned all the mountainous regions on the map. They built powerful cities, they were incredibly rich, and according to the lore there was eventually these great earthquakes that demolished their holds all across the realm. And when those earthquakes happened, greenskins moved in, and the orcs and the greenskins and the goblins they drove the dwarfs from their ancestral homes. And the current state of the old world is that the dwarfs are divided and weak, and however, the dwarfs are really stubborn, and they don't forget that they used to have a golden age, and now they're going to retake that golden age. Now, in our playthrough, it will be Grombrindal, the White Dwarf, a legendary dwarf that is rumored to have existed since the beginning of the Dwarven kingdoms. He was there in the Golden Age, according to some. He is even rumored to be the reincarnation of the greatest and first High King of the Dwarfs. So he's back, and he is here to lead the Dwarfs back to a golden age. So that is the idea of this Let's Play. For this Let's Play, we're going to add a few extra conditions onto the victory conditions, just to make it a little more interesting.
Presents a chance for the brave to bring about an age of reckoning. I come to the Dwarf High King as a herald of such times, and so I find myself at the King's right hand. My presence is timely. For dire news comes from the south. Greenskins flock to the banner of a cruel war boss. Now, my liege, Thorgrim Grudgebearer, leads a mighty throng from Karazakarak, smashing aside any foes that block our path. Desires to return the Karaz Angkor to its former glory, then he must rid his lands of vile greenskins. Those gathering within the shadows of
Okay, so the game starts with Grombrindal witnessing this battle of Everpeak, which we don't play because we're on Legendary. So offended is he that he
ancestor of legend.
takes control of a thrall.
Karazakarak, defended it from the green-skin fiends, and put their gutless horde to rout. Yet more remains undone. The bloody spears still infest the mountains to the east, setting up their hovels amidst your sacred pillars. Dwarfen lands lay sullied by their sickening taint. You must be the hero of the ancient sagas, and march for their deliverance. To the south, yet more vicious Urki and Groby lay ready to strike at your kin. Perhaps even the loathsome Black Goblin. Know that there are other dwarfen lords who would gladly ally with one so legendary as you for common cause. The dwarfs will know a new age of prosperity, heralded by the battle cry of Grombrindal, the White Dwarf.
Okay. Here we go. We have Grombrindal's starting forces, which include a gyrocopter, very, very useful, and also include these Iron Drakes. I really like them against the orcs because they do a tremendous amount of damage. It says they're weak against armor, but starting orc armies don't have significant amounts of armor. And these guys are just cool. They have some blasting charges. They blow up dudes. It's great. So with that, you can see we don't have any Regiments of Renown unlocked, but once we get to level 3, we'll get these guys. They're pretty useful. Yes. Okay. So let's take a little look at Grombrindal. He's the White Dwarf that gives reinforcement range of 30%. That should be useful eventually. Now, what's really important about him is he has some really powerful traits down here. He has a very unique blue tree. It's unlike any other lord. It's full of faction-wide bonuses. Very, very powerful. We got unit experience, recruitment cost, campaign movement range, casualty replenishment range, global recruitment capacity, and 20% to trade, which will be huge. Another important trait he has, these are all normal, is the Mighty Beard of Defense. So when defending, the entire army gets plus 10 armor piercing damage and plus 15 melee defense. That is insane. He's also got this ability. It's so this is instead of like stand your ground, I guess, but it looks pretty good. Enemies lose defense. They're greatly slowed, and it looks like it'll be very useful for routing packs of enemies that are on the verge of routing with the -8 leadership debuff. All the stuff up here is normal in the personal skill tree. He's also got 4 unique items. That's normal. And -10 turns between each passing of the Living Ancestor event. We'll see what this Living Ancestor event is later, but it's quite powerful. So let's look at his loot here, or his unique items. So his armor grants him extra armor, protection from heroes and physical resistance. It's okay. Let's see. His weapon plus 10 melee attack plus 13 armor piercing damage is actually really not significant. He's already got 315 armor piercing damage, so whatever. Minus 5% upkeep is pretty good. Income from post-battle loot, pretty good. And he gets an extra ability, which looks like it'll be really useful for discouraging everyone he's attacking. So that could be really useful, especially stacking with Flash Bomb. You get negative 24 leadership. That's huge. Okay, this magic resistance, nothing really impressive. Reduction of corruption. That's all right. Chance of intercepting army plus 10. Okay, leadership buff if he loses half his hit points. That's actually pretty good. It's not hard for a lord to lose half their hit points in a battle, and so that's okay. However, is it really better than other potential things you might get, like a 20% ward save? So we'll see. None of these things are really game breaking, like +5 to control in all provinces or something like that. But he has plenty of game breaking stuff here. Really, really incredibly strong legendary lord. Which brings me to the next the condition that we're imposing on this campaign. This is not just a legendary campaign.
I'm here.
But Grombrindal was there in the First Golden Age, and the First Golden Age fell apart. Now, secretly, he is friendly to all factions except greenskins and anyone who attacks him, but secretly he's harboring a complete and utter distrust of everyone that is not a dwarf. And possibly even dwarfs that are, well, let's put it this way, slow to see it his way. So eventually in the campaign, we will declare war on absolutely everyone. Now, Grombrindal knows of chaos looming and how chaos has invaded the world in the past. And his plan is to declare war on everyone when chaos invades. So when chaos invades, instead of having lots of allies to fight chaos with, instead of benefiting from the diplomatic relations with everyone, that's when Grombrindal is planning to declare war on the entire world. And he will lead forces to victory. Everyone in the old world will be kicked out, including chaos, including humans, including orcs, including vampires, everyone. If you're not a dwarf, you're out. So that is the legendary, that is the campaign condition that we're self-imposing on ourselves. We're going to start out fairly normally until chaos arrives, and then have a very different late game experience with fighting absolutely everyone. So that is the premise of this Let's Play. Let's get started. Alright, so here we are in the first battle. We are going to deploy over here, except for these guys. And we want to make sure that these guys are fully expanded. That way they all fire very efficiently. And they're actually very tough. They have 120 armor. They have about half the hit points of a quarreler unit. So they're actually quite tough. So putting them in a thin, wide line isn't that big a deal. They are dwarfs. They are highly armored. And I'm just going to put the Quarrelers right behind them. Because they have longer range, etc. These guys are Team 1. Grombrindal up front. Go ahead and start the battle. Start flying the helicopters closer to take advantage of our harassment abilities with these guys. All right, so this first part of the battle, we're harassing with our gyrocopters as much as possible. And we're just targeting the Orc big gun units because they're the strongest. You see, we're getting plenty of kills. With 2 volleys, we've killed 8. That's pretty incredible. So they fire slow, but when they do fire, they're killing just about one guy per shot, which is about all we can really expect. And we deployed far away so that we'd give our helicopters plenty of time to use up their ammunition. There we go. Okay. These guys are getting demolished. You can see we're also splitting up their army a bit. These guys have turned around a few times. These guys are slowing down, getting into a bit of disconfiguration here. So this is going well. I'm gonna put Grombrindal up front here because we want the enemy to kind of converge on him, and then so that the flamethrower guys can really roast him up. You'll see just how effective the flamethrowers are. Okay, the archers turned around here to fire at our helicopters, so we're just going to dodge that real quick. They want to keep firing at our helicopter, that's fine. It effectively means that they're disengaged from the fight. So just kind of get out of there. You can see where they can fire. We're just kind of constantly moving out of it. I'm going to take a pot shot at the big guns. And then we got to move these guys so they don't take too much damage from arrows. Come on guys, move. Okay, so they take a bit too much damage from arrows there. However, as long as we don't actually lose any of them, that's okay. So these guys are about to converge. We gotta get you guys out of there. And now that the archers have been so distracted, we can pretty much just charge the helicopters into these guys. Alright. we go. You can see the boom. You can see those blasting torches did a huge amount of damage. Now we'll go ahead and drop our bombs on these guys. Boom. Alright. Now these guys can start hammering at them. And we'll move these guys forward. Okay, so now we need to efficiently okay, so let's drop bombs over here. This just makes the entire army unbreakable for a while, which is really good. There we go. Flamethrowers are breaking these guys. Okay, so now we gotta run these guys down. We really want to do as much damage as we can to these guys before they leave. So I'm trying to use the gyrocopters to herd them away from the edge of the map. Okay, so we took hardly any casualties here. Alright, those guys got away. Alright. Just running some guys down here. These guys are difficult to run down with helicopters. Oh, interesting. I can't target these guys because one of them crossed the battle map or the battle border, but I herded the rest of them away, so I'm not sure if these guys will automatically perhaps attack. Alright, let's see if they kind of naturally attack on their own. They do not. Okay, whatever. Alright, let's just try to run down these guys. Okay, they're going the other way. I'm just trying to be really stingy in the first couple battles to make everything as efficient as possible. There we go. That did it. That was great. Alright, that's good enough. Let's see, these guys are severely crushed, and our army took almost no casualties. Took 6 casualties, and we took a bit of damage on Grombrindal. So we are going to release captives for the money. Okay, this is good. We got an archivist, faction-wide research rate, plus 10% right off the bat. So that's good. Got him right here. No other followers yet. So we're going to... We're going to go for Absolutely Relentless right away, just because the extra campaign movement range is really good. And for technology, we're going to go for Dwarven Emissaries. See, these two texts, they give us plus 30 diplomatic relations with everyone. We also get public order plus 1 for all provinces. Really, really good. And you'll see over the next few turns just how important, or over the next like 20 turns, how important that diplomatic relations is. Let's go ahead and fight this one. So the rationale for going for diplomatic relations first is that it does actually pay to have a lot of friends when you're the dwarfs, and the dwarfs do have the ability to trade with a huge number of factions if you can get enough friends on your side for that. Now, usually the difficult thing about getting friends on your side is there's a really significant debuff for having a large empire. You eventually get like negative 40 diplomatic relations with everyone once you get a large enough empire. However, at the very beginning of the game, you have a small empire, so that debuff is not there. And so if you can get the diplomatic bonuses early, then you can actually get a lot of people to be very, very friendly with you. And once they're trading with you and stuff, then you get additional diplomatic bonuses by having treaties with them. So we want to make a lot of friends as early as possible, and we want to keep them as long as possible so that we can trade with them and get as much money out of them as we possibly can. And then we're planning on betraying all of them when chaos comes. So that's the idea of the campaign. Let's get this battle going. So I'm gonna have these guys kind of go this way, just to kind of run away from their reinforcements to make this as air boys, orc boys, orc biggins. Those are good targets. We'll just kind of kite a bit. Just try to kind of stay out of the orc boys' range, the air boys. It looks like they're not actually interested in engaging our helicopters. They're just trying to reunite with their forces here. Okay, so this guy's going really slow. So we're just doing some skirmishing to start. Okay, after engaging or uniting with their other forces, they've decided to try to engage our army with their archers. Just shooting their air boys. Whoops! These guys need to engage. seriously mismanaged this. It's alright. That's really fine. That's a really gnarly barbecue right there. Okay, we're gonna go drop some more bombs. And boom. There we go. Everyone's retreating. They've hardly taken any damage. See these blasting charge guys, they're just insane. They've destroyed so many of their forces. Okay. Come on. There we go. Let's just switch these guys into melee and engage these archers real quick. We don't want those guys taking any more damage. We can avoid it. There we go. Everyone's breaking. Okay. There we go. The enemy lord is wounded. Those guys are dead. Just try to attack these guys as much as possible. Just to make the next battle that much easier. Because we still have to defeat the garrison forces of the Pillars of Grombrindal. There we go. Just kind of keep them hurting towards. We don't want these guys getting away. Okay, our forces are getting close. There we go. Caught him. There we go. Oh. I'm not sure I wanted to fire those blasting charges there. Alright. Okay. So now there are going to be... Okay, so Kruglig is the garrison force. There's only 161 of those guys remaining. Our ranged units will be able to completely destroy them. Oh, these guys didn't get annihilated. That's, it's a bit concerning. We're gonna fight this manually just to make sure that we don't take any casualties. For a lot of campaigns, some of the starting units are incredibly not cost effective, and I often disband at least one of them. However, with this campaign, I really like the the tactical advantage of these starting units seems really strong. So we're just gonna kill them with these guys. All these guys are just gonna kind of sit out. They're too damaged. Don't want them. So this won't be a hard battle. We're just shooting these guys with incredibly powerful range, and they're already so weak that it just doesn't matter. There we go. Zoom in for the pork barbecue. Come on. There we go. Roasting them. There we go. There's some well done orcs. There we go. More well done orcs. Very good. Alright. Alright. We're gonna go ahead and loot and occupy. We want to make sure a rebellion happens at Karak as soon as possible.
Your Dawi have been put to work fixing up the captured city, sire. Yet there are many grudges still to settle. Perfidious manlings and bloodthirsty vampires threaten your kind in the north. And your mountain will never be safe, while a single greenskin draws breath. To war!
Okay. Yes, Alright, so there's an ambush at Thundering Falls. We get a runesmith hero for this. That's going to be pretty important. I definitely the runesmiths give additional growth if you upgrade them that way. So I'm going to want to get that additional growth. So this will repair automatically. We're going to go ahead and just get the money building here. Yeah, we'll just get the money building. And in Karak we'll also get the money building.
You know who I am?
No. Okay, so he got 2 extra skill points. So let's go ahead and get absolutely restless. So now Grombrindal gives plus 10 campaign movement to everybody and 20% trade. So we need to get trade going right away. And part of doing that means we need to encounter factions. Oh, this is great. Campaign movement range 5%. That's really good. There we go. So we're going to get this guy. So he's got 15% extra movement range right off the bat. And we're going to send him this way to jump in the water here, and then he's going to sail all the way across Estalia, across Bretonia, and into and even past Norska, so that we can encounter everyone. And the first main focus of our campaign after uniting the Silver Road is we need to get trade going. And in order to be able to trade, we need a port. So there are 2 ways we can get a port. We can either get Barak Var and Varenka Hills through through Confederation, which is very unlikely but possible early game. We'll see how it goes. Or we have to conquer these territories here in order to get a port here at Stone Mine Tower, and then we have to link it up to our main capital. So that's the first objective of the campaign. We also want to start discover everyone so that we can start befriending them. Now, in this campaign, I'm gonna want quarrelers right away. So we're gonna go ahead and get this clan barracks thing started.
Armed and ready.
And to take Mount Squighorn, we don't need very many troops. This army will get an additional lord and probably move it into Mount Squighorn next turn. However, we're gonna need them to take further settlements, so we're gonna get some more dwarf warriors. Okay. And these guys, the miners with blasting charges, we really want to make sure they're protected and healing, because their blast charge is actually quite useful. So that's it for this turn. Actually, let's see what diplomacy we can do. So we have military access with Barak Bar.
Honor to your ancestors.
Can't do anything with them.
Honor to
Zufbar.
your ancestors.
See if we can get some non-aggression pacts going.
Deliver your message.
You see, people are very willing to get non-aggression pacts with us at the beginning. We're not going to get it with any greenskins because we're going to be declaring war on all of them.
Aye. You approach us in...
And that's it. Alright. So let's go ahead and end the turn. Alright, we're going to intercept these guys in the underway. We'll just go ahead and auto-resolve that. Alright, now we also unlocked the Miners Regiment of Renown. That's pretty good.
Who calls me?
Get the last point of Absolutely Restless. And we'll go ahead and take Mount Squighorn. I'm just going to auto-resolve this because it's just absurdly in our favor. There we go. We'll go ahead and loot and occupy.
All enemy shots tremble.
There we go. Oh wow, that's really good. Armor, melee defense, and ward save. That's great. Income for post-battle loot also.
I am the
Getting some good items and stuff. Alright, so now we really need to get the red thing upgrading. I could also upgrade this. +1 unit experience for all unit recruits. That's good for all units, and if we get it early in the campaign, it will be most beneficial. We can get the red things later, but if we do this before we've recruited pretty much all our troops, then we'll have significantly more experience. Don't think we'll get that or that. Maybe not that either. Maybe eventually, but at least not to start. Getting campaign movement range, yeah, and the experience is pretty good. So there we go. Now we can see this guy got an extra 5%, so he can like move pretty far. Okay. Can you move farther with the underground transport? Nope. So we're going to put him on force march. Move as close this way as possible. So we want to get him in the water as fast as possible. He's a bit vulnerable right now because he's in he's here next, and he's obviously alone. But he's not very vulnerable. Alright, let's get the plus 15 growth, and I'm gonna go ahead and get the growth building here just to help with that extra bit of growth. So we'll have plus 30 growth, and that'll help us get to population 1 in every 3 turns or so. I also want to do this quest as soon as possible, and we really need correlers for that. So we can go ahead and recruit some more units.
I'll do it.
And you can see these guys get increased rank. You can see also this guy, he's already rank 4 experience. That's just because he gets so many kills every single turn, or with every battle. So that's good. We'll, yeah. Alright. So that's the end of this turn. Okay, this is the special event that comes with Grombrindal. So, such is the age and renown of the White Dwarf that many sagas he strode with the ancestor gods themselves. No one refutes or dares challenge this. So anyway, here we go. We can get plus 10 melee attack and defense and reload time for all of his troops for 25 turns, which is insane. Belies protection. Not like this might be good late game to get public order bonuses everywhere. However, this get 20 research rate, 20% off his forces, 10% construction, and 10% recruitment costs. It's pretty good. And then this is pretty bad. It only upgrades Grombrindal. Not all that amazing. I think I'm gonna get Kin of Grimnir, since his army is really the only one we're using, and right now we're researching technologies that only take like 3 turns to research, and so the extra research rate doesn't knock off a turn, so it doesn't really save us much. And the monetary benefits, they might be they're pretty good actually. With construction costs and upkeep, I'm gonna go with this.
How can I help?
So we'll send him underground to
You know who I am.
get over here so we can take Karak Drum. And we need to recruit a lord in the Pillars of Grumney. Let's see. Oh wow, income from all buildings plus 5 in local province. I like that. And minus 5% campaign movement speed. It's not a big deal because we have so many buffs to that movement speed anyway. So we're gonna have this guy recruit some quarrelers, because we're gonna need quarrelers to take Black Crag, and they're just really good units. So that's what we'll do. If these guys try to move, we can probably intercept them, and if they try to attack these guys should be able to take care of them. So even though the settlements are damaged, they still have full strength garrisons. That's interesting. Good to know. I didn't know that. Okay, so let's go ahead and intern. Actually, check diplomacy. Yeah. There we go. Actually, wait.
For the wisdom of the layer.
I just want to double check that these guys won't confederate
Let's
with
hear
us.
what you have to say.
They're really they'll accept a military alliance actually. That's pretty good. I might try to have them do a stupid attack to make them more vulnerable. Like so the thing with this is now we have a military alliance with them. We can tell them what to do. Now, if I give them good advice, they might get too strong and not want to confederate. However, if I give them bad advice, then they might be weak enough that we can confederate with them. So I'm gonna tell them to attack this settlement here. It's not a good move for them to take that from their perspective, but it's a stupid AIA. It doesn't know that. So I'm just gonna tell them to go take that and see if maybe they move out, get their army crushed, something like that. Because if we can confederate with them early, that'll be really good.
What do you want?
Okay, so
Yes.
gonna tunnel under here to get there. And the next turn you can jump in the water and start sailing for Norska. Alright.
The dwarfs need me. Lord, O clan Lord.
Okay, we are just about out of money. With the recruitment of these guys, we will have basically spent all the money that we have available. We'll need to be taking settlements, making more money, getting loot, etc. Okay, the rebellion showed up in Karak. That's possibly good. Okay, we need to crush the uprising there. Okay, we're getting researching dwarven diplomats now. Okay, these guys didn't move, so we can actually destroy them. So if we attack Crack Drawn, that'll only use up half our movement speed, and we'll be able to sack it for some money. I think that's a good move. So let's go ahead and attack that. Sack it for a bunch of cash, and then retreat. And then we'll attack these guys too.
On my way.
However, they retreated.
Get at me, head. Get at me, head.
Vengeful Ridlord.
Okay, so these guys are a bit. They're too strong for these guys to attack. Actually,
My anger burns bright.
his anger buns are bright, so we could get the Regiment of Renown unit and go destroy it, but that would cost 700. We need to be really greedy and economical here. Oh, interesting. You can't upgrade them until they're repaired. That's a bit of a bugger. So we'll repair this one because we want to upgrade it, because we already have the money building here.
You know who I am.
Yeah.
Vengeful Rune Lord. I'll cast the runes. Heading out.
There we go. He's got his nice little ironclad ship going.
If you say
Not sure why they can build ironclad ships, but they're like still dicking around with swords and arrows and stuff.
it's as
Whatever.
do.
Okay, so I think that's it for this episode. Join us next time for part 2.